Welcome to the Mound City Council. It's Tuesday, April 14th, 6 o'clock. Can we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We got our agenda. Is there any amendments?
I have two very slight amendments to the consent agenda. One is to item 6C. The music in the park is removing a date in June. And then 6H, the packet item is correct, but the number in the title should be $4,121.34, which is the 61,692 is from the previous meeting, so.
That's a significant change.
Yeah. But it's correct in the packet, so the actual item is in there.
4,000 what?
$4,121.34.
All right, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda with those changes?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda with the stated changes.
All right, got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, those opposed? All right, number 4, we got public comments. If anybody wants to come up, give you 3 minutes to tell us what you want to tell us. All right, hey.
Hi, my name's Nick Peterson, SEN. I grew up here in Mound. I went to Shirley Hills, Grandview, and high school. And I come up today because this town and this school district instilled my love for civics in our country. Last year, I went to the presidential inauguration. I slept outside for 13 hours to be first in line. And just by fate, when I was inside Capital One Arena, the president and the first lady were 4 rows ahead of me. I shouted from the bottom of my heart, "We love you, Mr. President." They both pointed, smiled, and waved right at me. I pointed back. It was caught on TV. Millions of people have seen it around the world. Over the last 18 months, I proved it to the White House that they have validated it twice. And now I'm the first American in history to prove a president-to-citizen interaction so hard the White House through civics has validated it twice. I got 2 letters from the president, and I wanted to come and let you guys know. I have documented it all on my own website, weloveyoumrpresident.com, showing the importance of civics today. People forget, there's a difference between civics and politics. I had no idea. Those 5 words are now in the National Archives. So now our city and the school district in its own way are being seen. I just got word through my site hoster. We have now been seen in every single continent on Earth. All because I dared to love America out loud, and I proved it so hard the White House agreed. And then I also have a write-up too, if it'd be okay to pass to you guys to show. I wanted to let the city know on the record that someone just went out and showed love to America, and now the city is being read about all over the world.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. You want me to pass out just here?
I can hand them out to you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys.
Do you want to
Thank
bring
you.
that around
Yeah,
quick?
you want to
or-
bring it up, if you guys want to do a picture with it or not, or?
do you want to just bring it around and then we'll
Yeah.
kind of look at it quick?
I'll get a picture. You probably have several of them, but
Oh, yeah. I can't believe it.
thanks for putting us on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I figured I wanted to come and let you guys know that we are being read about all over the world, all because I dared to go out and stand up for what I believe in.
Cool.
That's what it takes. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you guys.
All right, thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Have a good night.
All right, do we have anybody else that wants to come on? All right, can you give us, you can put it down and give us your name and address.
Nick is my youngest son, and he's the tallest in our family. My name is Janet Peterson, and I live at 3136 Tuxedo Boulevard, Mound, of course. I had something happen last year that I wonder if it's something I can bring here. I noticed the neighbor behind us had put up a beautiful new wood fence. His other one was starting to fall down. We have a chain link fence. We've been there 37 years, and he was there before us. But the old fence his old wooden fence was not taken down. His new one went up, just when I wasn't looking, on the other side of it. So between us is this fence that's falling apart. So I just don't know where you talk to somebody to see about making a change in building code, that an old fence should come down before you cover it with a new fence, to, in front of a neighbor's property.
So is the old fence facing your property?
Here's our chain link fence, here's his fence, it's old and falling apart, and his beautiful new fence is on the other side. It's between.
Got it.
It's
He
between
can't see
them.
it.
Yeah, she can, yeah.
So, it's just gonna get worse over the years.
Right. Have you
So-
talked to
Nope.
Jesse or anybody yet?
No, I just called the city, and asked them last fall if there was anything in the codes about that, and they said no. They researched it. There was nothing in the codes about taking your old fence down and covering it up with a new fence. When it's looking at someone else's property, so. Any questions?
We'll have to stew about that a little bit, maybe, Sarah. We can,
I
that's
would,
a new one for us, I guess.
yeah, isn't that funny?
mean,
Yeah,
you-
and I like my neighbors. I haven't said a word to them. I've not mentioned it to them.
Yeah.
So, thank you for hearing
Okay.
me.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? All right, hearing none, going to number 5 presentations. We got Orono Police Department with the March 2026 activity report.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Officer Reyes. I'm with the Orono Police Department here in Sergeant Spencer's position here because he is out of office. So wanted to give you some updates here overall for the police department. So right now we are in the chief's interview process. We have 2 finalists going to a final interview this week. The Our Lady of the Lake kids graduate their DARE school as well coming up here. We've had 1 overweight vehicle that was cited in the city of Mound, and we also wanted to encourage as far as any public works or anybody calling in any other overweight trucks as well. The seasonal weight restrictions will be ending here April 16th, so a couple days as far as that goes, but would love the help there. We actually just went through our 2-day use of force training as well this last week, so we just went through our annual refresher there, which we have twice a year. And then also as far as a just kind of notice on the severe weather week that's coming up here with the sirens will be set off here at some point. So that's kind of the more major updates from us. And then I just wanted to go over as far as the crime summary report from March 1st to the 31st here. So going down through the categories here, the first category we have is an aggravated assault. Domestic strangulation, we had 1 report of that. We had a report of essentially open burning permit as far as violation. We had a domestic assault violation order for protection and solicit child to engage in sexual conduct as far as report there. We had 1 that was a burglary, break-in and entering, 3rd degree report, so that was 1 report there. We had a juvenile curfew loitering violation as well. We had 2 reports of damage to property. We had driving under the influence here, we had 6. As far as drug narcotic violations here, we had 2. As far as domestic assault, misdemeanor, fear, basically we had 2 reports of that this month. We had an open bottle violation, and then we had 132 non-reportable vehicle, essentially, reports as well. So that is the gist. We have a couple more here. So we did have 1 as far as a theft. We had 1 report of theft. We had 1 report of criminal sexual conduct in the 3rd degree. We had a simple assault disorderly. We had 3 reports of that. We did have as far as 2 theft from motor vehicle reports. And then we did have 1 as far as weapon law violations as well. So that is the breakdown on the monthly reports.
All right.
Any
Very
questions?
thorough.
Any questions for me?
I don't know if you can disclose this, but are either of your candidates from in-house, from within the department, or are they out of the jurisdiction?
I don't know if I can speak on it, but as of right now, both are external.
Okay.
As of right now, yep.
Thanks.
So, yep.
Question on the overweight trucks.
Yes.
Like if you want people to like call on that? Like, what type of trucks are we talking about?
Yeah, so as far as any overweight, so essentially if you see large scale as far as semis hauling materials, anything that's heavy as far as bricks or lumber, et cetera, you think about as far as a tandem, tridem, essentially you're gonna see multiple wheels as far as that semi-trailer and truck. And we've had quite a bit as far as over, the season here in all cities. But essentially having Public Works call in if they notice it as they're out and about, citizens seeing them, because certainly, obviously, it's hard to be able to catch all of them in the act.
Yeah.
But we've had quite a bit of people calling in, reporting, and we do catch them in the act. And so obviously finding them and citing them for that obviously offense.
All right.
Mhm.
Cool. All right, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
All right, we got our consent agenda. Our Castellano's out, so someone else is gonna have to read all these.
I can read it.
All right.
Consent agenda A, minutes of the May 10th, 2026 City Council regular meeting. B, approve resolution number 2623 approving the liquor store license. Oh, just the liquor license for Lovey Restaurant. C, approve resolution number 2624 approving permits for 2026 Music in the Park down at Surfside, waiving fees due to public purpose of gathering. D, approve resolution 2625 approving permit number for 2026 Fire Department Relief Association Fish Fry, June 6, 2026. E, approve resolution 2626 approving the permit for seasonal use of city property for the Mound Farmers Market starting on May 23rd, going through October 10th. F, approve 2026 Planning Commission Work Plan and Staff Project. G, approve Resolution 2627, approving the 26 through 29 residential waste reduction and recycling grant agreement with Hennepin County. And H, pay request number 2 in the amount of, I don't know if I wrote it correctly, 412080.
4121.34.
4121, in the amount of 412134 to Minger Construction for water treatment infrastructure improvements, Phase 2, PW 25-12.
All right, we got our consent agenda. Does anybody want to talk about those?
No.
All right, hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And I got a second. All right, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Herrick.
Aye.
Councilmember McEnany.
Aye.
Councilmember Pugh.
Aye.
Mayor Holt.
Aye. All right, all that passes. All right, number 7, we got public hearings. Planning Commission recommendation, planning case number 2601.
Let's try it. Just because I'm. It's a beautiful thing. I'm just excited.
Did it work at the planning meeting?
It did, I was so excited. Yeah, I thought it was, the only thing is the laser pointer, but that's okay. I'll practice my mouse skills. All right. Good evening. I'm Rita Trapp, the city's planner. Before you this evening is a request for a conditional use permit for a water treatment plant. This was submitted by Bolton and Mink on behalf of the city of Mound. As you probably are aware, the property is located north of Bartlett Boulevard, adjacent to Sorbo Park. Access is provided from an existing easement to Evergreen Road. One thing I want to note, and you'll see it in the note on this picture, is that the diagrams, in order to get it on a sheet, have been rotated. So this is the one that's facing north, but everything else from this on is going to rotate. And so Sorbo Park will be to the right, north is to the right. So it's a little, makes sense for the drawing, but it is a little bit odd in your brain to realize now north is to your right. So that's kind of the orientation we will have. The proposed project is the water treatment plant for the city of Mound. It also includes space for city utility vehicles. And as you can see from this diagram, there is a driveway that extends to Evergreen Road to provide access, and there's a little bit of turnaround space for that as well. The request is for a conditional use permit. Essential service buildings such as a water treatment facility are considered essential service building in all districts. So no matter what district it would have been in, this is what the City of Mound has done, intentionally to make sure that people have an opportunity to review and provide comment on these types of facilities. The project does not require any additional variances, easements, alterations, and so it really is about making sure the use fits on the site, and if there are any concerns, that we address those. The property is an interior lot located behind Sorbo Park. It is adjacent to the school district property that has some informal trails in it, as I saw some people biking when I went there the other day. The property is undeveloped. Adjacent properties are primarily residential uses around it, except for the park and the school district property that I noted. Another existing condition that I think is important, hopefully you've had a chance to go out there, there is topography change from Evergreen Road up to where the actual water treatment facility is. That just comes into play primarily related to the water filtration basin and the playground, because there is actually a slope up. And so those are some of the things that we took into consideration when discussing how to approach that issue. As I've already said, access is from a dedicated right-of-way from the north side of the property to Evergreen Road on the south side of Sorbo Park. While there is a potential other location for this, since you are crossing city property, this makes the most sense from the standpoint of that leaves the green space between the playground and the water tower for open space for children that might use the park. So it's nice that this is tucked in south of the playground. The width of the driveway was designed to meet fire department regulations, and then the turnaround area is located closer to the water treatment plant. That they might need that part of it. Essential service buildings are not required to meet lot requirements, though we did provide a summary of all of those. You can see generally the facility is located quite a bit of different distance from each of the different property lines. The closest one is the west property line at 50 feet, and that's the school district property. So there's not a residential property located in that vicinity. We do know from the public comments that we had that there is some concern about the building height. The building height is designed to be less than 35 feet, which is the R1 district maximum. The garage height in particular was identified, and the public person is here so they can provide their own comment. My understanding from the letter that a lot of it has to do with the fact that originally this was only talked about as a water treatment facility, and now we've added the utility function as well, and that the garage kind of has a big mass to it. But the height of the garage is needed in order to ensure that it can accommodate these city utility vehicles, and the height and the roll-up of the door and all of those elements. So it is still under the 35 feet, and in fact, the doorway for the utility is not the tallest, or the part of the building for the utility is not the tallest part of the building. But it is the part of the building that's on kind of the driveway side, and the part of the building you'll see more so from the park. The exterior of the building is proposed to be brick, and these are just some examples that were included in the submittal of what the building would look like. Impervious surface, this is proposed to be under 30%, which is the maximum for R1 district, and the stormwater treatment was designed to meet Minnehaha Creek Watershed District requirements. As I had referenced, there is a filtration basin that is proposed on the site. Is located in this vicinity, and the playground is located here, and so there has been conversation about whether a fence should be added between the two to make sure that those that are exploring the site aren't affected by the water filtration basin. It is important to note that the water is there for rain events, not there all of the time. It's not a pond that sits. It's one of those things that when a storm event would happen, then there will be rain that will fill up the pond. It's about 4 feet deep at its maximum. And then the length of time that it stays is dependent upon the amount of rain that we get. So, and as I said, there's also, if you were out on the site, there is a topography difference. So if you're in the playground, at the playground, then there's a retaining wall, then there's a hill, and then on top of the hill will be the filtration basin. But the Planning Commission did feel like something should be done, maybe not all the way around, but enough to discourage going up to that vicinity. So that's one of the conditions that is added for your consideration this evening. Screening, if you were out on the site, a lot of the landscaping that was there has been removed. Oh, I didn't change that, sorry. Matt called me and said I didn't get something quite right. So the project for the water trunk project is happening now, not completed. But there was work that was done to fix the site, to get the site ready. And so if you were out there, there are trees in the vicinity of where this facility would go that were already removed in anticipation of kind of the bounds of where the building would be. And so the proposed project, there is a landscaping plan that has been done. There will be more evolution similar to all the landscaping plans that we typically work with on a site, where there's a landscaping plan and we continue to work back and forth on how to kind of put it together. 28 new trees are proposed, evergreen trees on the sides abutting the residential properties. From the conversation with the Planning Commission, there was a note that, and from the public comment that we received, that we should be looking all the way around the building to make sure that there's screening on all sides. So for example, if something happened on the school district property, there's still some screening that would happen. So those adjustments can be made as part of the continuing process for the site plan. There aren't specific requirements for landscaping in the code, so this is just a kind of a back and forth to create the best site plan that we can. I do want to note that there are some limitations, because if we have underground utilities, we don't want to have trees over them, because either we'll have to, at some point in the future, they could harm our underground utilities, or we might have to take them out anyway. And so there are some areas where screening might be desired, but is not advisable because of utility locations. So, for example, south, I still have my mouse. So I know that there's interest in this location and on this side of the building, but there are some utility lines. We might be able to add a few more, but we won't be able to totally screen those locations because of the locations of the utility lines that are coming out in here. It's actually a little bit farther, but it's underway. I know other concerns, so other potential impacts. In terms of vehicle trips, there's not going to be a lot of people on the site. There's probably one worker on site on any given day, obviously just other than taking care of utility vehicles. There was some discussion at the Planning Commission about noise. This particular facility is being proposed to be energized through, not through the same kind of generator that is being used at the water filtration building. And so this one should not be noisy, which is the biggest concern that was raised. And so the generator would only be used primarily for power failures or exercise, so it's not going to be a big deal. And then lighting is still under development, which again is very similar to most of our projects where lighting comes in. Given the distance to other residential, it should be not too impactful, but I know there's a concern. This has been a wildlife area because it has been full, and so how do we minimize and provide security at the same time? So those are all concerns that have been raised and documented and things that we can think about. We did distribute this in our normal and customary way. The only comment that we received was from MCS, who said they have no comments. Otherwise, there were no technical comments received. We did have the one neighbor who we amended in the Planning Commission the comments, and they also presented additional questions at the meeting, and they're here tonight. So the official public hearing is tonight, so you may hear from him, and he can provide additional. Hopefully, I've done a generally good job of contextualizing, but he may have other points to make. I walked through all of these as I went, since I knew what those comments were. Planning Commission discussion, generally they kind of focused on 4 areas. Landscaping, lighting, making sure that we make adjustments to address the concerns that we've heard, trying to identify more areas for trees and screening, trying to make sure the lighting does not impact. There was a question raised about whether or not there would be a possibility of connecting the 2 buildings so that the diesel generator that currently is making noise could be eliminated, and that's something that because the Planning Commission meeting was last week, we don't have an answer for. So we just included a condition that would be looked at to see if that's even feasible. Because it's understandable if noise is bothering the surrounding neighbors, that if we could adjust it because of this, that would be great. And then there were concerns about the filtration basin and putting fencing. So again, those are additional conditions that were included in the resolution. You may or may not have the same concerns, so those are certainly areas of discussion. As I've referenced, this is a public hearing, and so the request this evening is to hold the public hearing, obviously discuss the request, given that staff and the planning commission did recommend approval, there is a resolution in your packet. It did incorporate the conditions that the planning commission recommended in them, in addition to the kind of the standard ones that staff knew that we should include for a conditional use permit. City engineer is here. He can answer any technical information since he's more an expert in that area, but I can certainly answer questions on the planning side if there are questions for me.
Does anybody have any questions for Rita?
Well, regarding the filtration system, I'm sure you all looked at trying to relocate this not so close to the playground.
Well, I asked the question initially, and he said that was the best location because of the way that the land
sloped.
is. Yeah. It wasn't, it's one of those things.
You just look at all that land, it's like, oh, let's just put it right behind the playground.
Yeah, but again, once I don't know if you were out at the site, once I went to the site and I saw the topography difference, it's like, and we have lots of lakes around here, and we have a pond half a block up the street on the other side that has nothing around it, so I'm not minimizing it but,
Right.
it's like,
Well, the kids do historically use those woods to really,
right. That's why the fence
Run
could make
through.
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no possibility to move that thing, south, and closer to the building, not close to the building, but
That
other
would be
side.
a
Like
great
even-
discussion for the city engineer. So-
even 20 feet. I mean, because according to this drawing, it looks like it's awful close to that playground, and it would be nice to plant plants between, like we did, well,
I put it, we can have that, he can come up, so he can give you, because I obviously was not involved in that
and
design.
was there any discussion about replacing some, I don't know what we call, the trees that were along the property line adjacent to the neighbor across from the playground? It was kind of a,
Up in this vicinity, they did put up a fence, if you were out there.
yes, I saw that.
But again, that is a discussion we haven't had about trees. It's a little tight, given the driveway part of it, but certainly something that could be discussed.
Right, these were pine trees, I believe. They
Yeah,
were
but that's
tall.
right over the road.
Yeah.
Right, anyway. go
Yep,
ahead.
all, like,
How tall is the retaining wall?
the retaining wall that's there today.
No, that's gonna be there, in between the pond and the,
Well, there's already, at the ground level, then there's a retaining wall, and then there's a hill, and then it's a filtration basin.
oh, you're,
so-
okay, the one that's already there.
Yeah, and it's, what is it, 3 courses high, so, I don't know, it's
Yeah,
like
it's not very
2.5 feet, but then there's a hill over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it'd be
I mean,
a pond up there.
Like, I couldn't stand in the playground and see that there's gonna be a pond there, but I understand kids go all kinds of places, so,
Yeah.
not minimizing.
It's been
Those are
quite an
discussions that-
exploring park for kids.
I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
I said it's been a park where the kids really explore. the
Well,
whole
for sure.
area,
If you have all those woods there,
Yeah.
they would. I mean, even when I drove through on the school district property, I could see kids on bikes in the property. So,
My kid built a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did mine.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
He would go over there with a hoe and-
yeah. I mean, the good news,
Literally.
I mean, if there is good news, is it's a filtration basin, not a pond. So that means
Yeah.
it's when a storm event happens that things will go into it, and it's not gonna be standing water all of the time. But I totally understand. That's why we started the conversation about the fence when we started our planning report, and it's just continued trying to figure out the best way of addressing it. So, it's a good discussion item for all of you of how you think it should be handled.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't do a picture, though. We did discuss, sorry, I have it on the extra. There was, Matt sent over, not the retaining wall part, but the part of the fence of like, no, I know, that's why I wanted to clarify. The fence that could be kind of how a fence could look is
Yeah.
that kind of black galvanized, just not a chain link is what we're thinking. The biggest thing is probably want something a little nicer than just a chain link fence around it. So,
Cool. Any other questions for Rita? Do we want to hear from our
Do you want-
engineer first, or
Yeah, I
do
was
we
gonna
want to
say.
hear from the public? Anybody care? All right, let's do the public comment. All right, I'm opening the public hearing. If anybody wants to come up and give us your opinion, give you 3 minutes. Okay, can you give us your name and address?
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Johan Chemin. I reside at 6039 Beechwood Road. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the presentation, Rita. So one of my first comment and opposition to this project is its size. I remember clearly being in front of this city council when I was told that, when we were told, citizens, that it was going to be a filtration station, not a utility/filtration station. And it seems like those were the specifications that were given for the plans that we're seeing right now. So my first concern is, how many $1 million does that add up to the cost? Because that's not free. The whole thing is like half of the project is the utility building. And as citizens, we didn't sign for a $30 million project when already we're short on money. It's already, the urgency is to be able to have manganese taken out of our water, not to have a fancy utility stuff.
Right.
Plus, if we have the utility, would you mind putting the visual of the building, please, Rita?
Yep, I was waiting.
Thank you.
for which one.
Thanks.
Does that one work? Or-
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, yeah. So the fact that there's a utility garage means that there is an office on the side. So that adds up to the cost, not just the garage, but it adds up also to the office that's adjacent to the building. So that's my first contention to that stuff. Furthermore, could you put the view from the top, please?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Yep.
Since there's a garage, there needs to be a huge driveway. That adds up to the cost. And I remember sitting in front of this committee, or this city council, sorry, when it was said it was going to be a single lane path. Now it's a road. It's a 2-lane road. So that adds up to the cost, and that's a big portion of the $30 million of that project. That's my first contention. My second contention is the tree buffering. And I'm sorry, but I disagree with Rita. Do you mind showing the slide that you showed at the Planning Commission?
You mean the one that had like the lines on it?
Yes, the one
Yeah,
that
it'll
had the
take me a
lines of the
second to
utility.
put it up.
Thank you. So we need more tree buffering for that project, especially on the west side, so the one that adjacent to the school plot. Thank you, Rita.
Mhm.
So if you can scroll,
Yep, just a
yeah,
second.
thank you.
I went a little far.
Yeah. So the property line is there, and the blue, I guess, is where pipes and stuff are going through. But you see there's a big clearing between those trees. So trees could be planted, thank you, in this area, because we can see the clearing from the road from West Edge, which is on the west side of the road that's after the school district, as well as, and I know it's maybe a little tight, next to the filtration basin. So from your neighbor, we won't see the plant. That kind of hides it more. So I think there is a spot for that. So that's my second contention to that project. Then I have a question regarding the noise. So I forgot to ask during the city planning commission, the noise, is there going to be, because we have a lift station in Mound, just at the border on West Edge, at the border with Mound and Minnetrista, and that pumping station is atrociously noisy. There's a fan that goes on 24/7, and that's just atrocious. I lived in the city, and my apartment was for 7 years by a fan. And when the fan from the restaurant was turning off, we could feel like our stress was just relieved. So I'm wondering, is there going to be a noise with that station apart from when there's when the gas generator just is used? Is there going to be a noise like a fan going in?
I don't know, but that's a question once you finish your comments.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you. So that's my second question. Yeah. So the other questions for the noise, I was very satisfied with considering the generator, I was very satisfied with the answer that was provided. And my last contention is with the light pollution. I know we're all gang-ho, but leaving our porch light on at night, thinking it will deter thieves when it doesn't do anything. What would deter more is like a light, a motion detector that surprises people and scares them away more than having a light on. And especially that we are in a city with increasingly light pollution. That's not good for us, our body. That's not good for the animals. And I know that we have a couple of owls that have been moved from where they were there to our neighbors. And owls need darkness in order to be able to hunt, as well as other animals. So Even just having lights at night, to me, is kind of crazy. We should have a motion detector rather than having light 24/7 going on, or sorry, at night. I can understand maybe in the wintertime, when people are still going in and out, maybe until 5 p.m. and then done. But at all the time, that's kind of crazy. Yes, I have a question for you guys. So concerning the landscaping, what is your power regarding the landscaping change that would be done? Let's say that you are in agreement with needing more trees on the 2 zones that I was pointing. What would be the way that you're going to follow up on that project to make sure that that's implemented?
Well, if we pass it and we say that has to be in there, they'll make sure it gets.
Okay, that's how it works. Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have questions or you want to stay here or? Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, I appreciate
Thank
your
you.
help and your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? All right, I'm gonna close the public comment. All right, do you guys want to come up? Do you have anything to say just off the top, or do you want us to ask you questions right away?
Why don't, I'll start with the filtration basin piece of it.
Yeah.
Rita, if you could jump to that one will work. So we needed to site the basin to catch as much water as possible so that we could treat as much water as possible. And so since everything else is kind of up on top of the hill, our best opportunity to catch it without really getting into the park space was this space here. And so that's where we can meet 90% of the watershed's goals. We have to do some other rate control items as well. We're still working out if a little bit of that's going to be done on the opposite side of Evergreen Road. Otherwise, we have an opportunity to redo the surface of the basketball court and make that be able to hold some water and kind of hide it. So that's why we picked that location, just as backup for that. And I had run some numbers on how long you'd see any water within the basin depending on certain rain events. So in a 2-year storm, which I think is like a 2.5-year event, there'll be water visible in the basin for about 16 hours, and then it's completely gone. And so some of that's going to be where there's only a couple inches in it even. And then in the 100-year storm, did I say, was it about, I think it was 26 hours, so just over a day. Yeah. 26. Yeah, so just over a day. So that, and so that's some of the background there. But we did discuss, potentials for fences. I think the black powder coated fence, if we were to do something, would make the most sense. But we hadn't nailed all that down yet.
Okay.
For those listening who maybe don't understand this whole why we have to add runoff and filtration basins, can you explain from all the hard cover that we're adding for this? That's, I'm assuming, the reason this has to be added?
Yes, yeah, because, because of site size, and then because of the Minnehaha Creek Watershed District regulations, that we don't want to increase flow to anything downstream as much as we can, and then we want to catch and treat as much runoff that may have pollutants in it, and so that's why we need to put in a basin at all. We originally were hoping that we would do an infiltration basin so that the water could just soak into the ground, but once we landed on where the plant and everything itself was, we had to shift it a little bit, and then this portion of it has too much clay soil, so we had to go to infiltration, so there's some drain tile and stuff in there that actually helps get the water out a little quicker as well. So, I don't know if that covered it. There's a lot more technical pieces of it, but I usually have to ask for help on those too.
Thank you.
Can you explain how big the road is?
How wide it is?
Yeah.
I believe it's 26 feet wide, so that's to meet the fire department regulations, so that if there's an emergency in there, that's what they require.
That's the minimum?
Yep.
Okay.
So what is Evergreen? A normal road, what is that?
Our standard road is 28 off the top of my head. I don't know, Evergreen might be a little wider, some of them go to 32. Yes, our typical streets in Mound most of them are 28 feet from the back of the curb to the back.
On the the other well around the corner, I think there's a light that's always on over there, if I remember right.
There is.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Maybe
there
right.
is.
I mean, obviously, safety, or can you explain why we need a light all the time?
Decisions made before our time, but
Okay.
a lot of it is just security, to keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
It's easier to see if someone's up there, maybe doing something they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And then, as well, say for an emergency, if somebody needs to pull up, that they don't have to fumble out of their car in the dark and try to figure out what's going on, find their keys to get into the building.
Right.
So-
So we could regulate maybe the level of light pollution, per se,
Yeah, that's,
and maybe focus it down instead of all over the
oh,
place.
yep. Yeah, we can work on the lighting plan, we're kind of hearing some of those concerns, and then, and we'll talk through security and those pieces, and then do probably as much as possible on motion security, or motion sensor type lights.
Yeah. And then the noise, is it gonna be noisy at all?
Not that I'm aware of. Typically, what is brought up is the generator, so that's what we kind of dug into a little bit more. The generator, the gas generator that'll be used on site, it's a hospital-grade generator, so basically it uses a muffler on it that lowers the noise to the same level as what a car driving down the street would be. And it's really not gonna be used very often, except during an emergency, or like once a month, they'll exercise it just to make sure everything's firing and lubed up.
Okay, so just the constant day-to-day, it's not gonna be
No, you,
loud or anything?
yeah, but barely ever notice that. No, there's some plants, water treatment plant, I think in Norwood, that's basically right across the street from a bunch of houses, and no complaints from that one that I know of.
Yeah. And I live right around the corner. I mean, I walk around there all the time, but I don't remember it being loud personally. I mean, I can't hear it from my house. I don't know. I guess I just didn't think about it while I'm walking by it, so.
Well, in an emergency, we have other generators in the neighborhood. I know John has one next door to me, and they're loud. I mean, but those are just gas generators that people are using on their homes.
But I'm saying like the current
Right.
one, the well that we have right now. I mean, before tonight, I didn't even think of that even making a sound at all. So,
The
I
diesel
don't-
one there?
Yeah.
Say, Matt, I'll just jump in to mention, just my prior experience. You mentioned Norwood. This was the water plant we built in Cologne, and that's in people's backyards, and
Right.
they never heard a thing. It's a giant sand filter inside. It's not treating wastewater like the one on the west edge. So this is closer, I think, even than what we're talking about, and there's nearly no buffer, and quite honestly, I think people were more excited to have that because it was a big quiet building versus neighbors or something behind, or a road for that matter, but it's just
When was that built?
2016 to 17, we built that.
Since you're talking, can you explain the size of the building and why we need what we need there?
Well, we do need offices, because there is office work to be done. So somebody's gonna need to be there every day to do testing, and generally they'll need a place to do that. So, I mean, for the size of the actual storage area, I mean, I think there's two ways to look at it. One of them is that it's just nice to be able to pull into a garage, right? I mean, if people are gonna be working in there, we'd prefer that they would be able to park, and then, I would argue that it's not superfluous in that, assuming we could probably go bigger, this is, I think, pretty commensurate with the size of the building. And from an economy standpoint, if you were going to just go and build a garage that large on a brand-new site, it's gonna cost you a heck of a lot more than if you're doing it subsequent to this project. So, the PFA does have standards. If we wanted to make it, 3/4 garage and a little water plant, they would say, that's not why we're loaning you the money.
Right.
So we are beholden to we could borrow it elsewhere, but we're gonna utilize the PFA, assuming the council moves forward for some of this. So, in this case, we'd have to talk about whether it could be, it's not bid yet, it's been designed for the most part, but it could be probably downsized, but I would say I don't know the number offhand, Matt, but of the $40 million total project, that's gonna be the smallest part. It's just the square. It's not a maintenance bay. It's not a spot for, there's not gonna be a lift in the ground to be able to put trucks on it. It's generally just storage. There'll probably be a corner-mounted heat unit just so that it's not cold in the winter, but it's certainly not over the top. And then from a staff perspective, I think we would mostly just argue that, like I said, you don't get a lot of opportunities as a city to do something like that, so if you can, this is a good time for it, just because it's going to be a little addition to a much larger project versus tearing down a larger building and then meeting new codes and things, or acquiring land. We just don't have a lot, which is, we were just talking today, like, this is where it is because the other alternative was our other water tower where it's surrounded by houses, you know,
Right.
so. Some of it's opportunity, some of it is necessity. If the council wants, I'm sure we could dive into where the engineering has come to, like with the cost breakdowns of this. I don't know how granular it is.
Yeah, I don't have those numbers.
But the vast majority of this is coming from the actual filtration system.
Yeah.
So would we gain any storage? I know we're doing maintenance on the other pumping stations and all this other stuff. Do we have equipment or anything associated with the water treatment process that we would be able to store there if we need to, rather than storing it over at the Public Works building?
Yeah, so one of the benefits of this is that they'll be kind of able to separate some of the water utility items from like sanitary sewer and the other public works pieces over there.
Okay.
They'll be able to store there's gonna be a lot of new valves and fittings that they're gonna need for backup for
Right.
the building itself.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of the depth of it is just so that they can put racks and things like that to store those things in there. Yeah, so there's efficiency from that perspective as well. And then Ryan could speak to it more, but I know with the two garages that the city has now, there's a lot, like basically Jenga that's played between the seasons of moving things around and trying to stack things in there, and this would help with that as well.
Good.
I'm Brian Preach, Public Works Director. Yeah, we do play a lot of off-season trade-in, trade-out. We use the shop on the island as off-season, as well as a couple of storage containers that we have in the upper lots, the shop at Linwood, and also one down at the lower lot at the shop at Linwood. So it is a lot of in and out of containers. If you need something, you might spend an hour digging it out. If it's, an emergency and it's buried, we try to be as smart as possible when we put things away and do off-season storage, but things come up and then you're digging. So this is gonna give us an opportunity to just spread out a little bit, put the right things in the right places so they're accessible. And like he said, the water trucks will be stored out of there, and those water guys will be working out of there. So, as far as traffic for that, you're talking 3 trucks, maybe for starting and leaving for the day. One guy working there at least 3/4 of the day.
And do we have, for lack of a better term, a room or a facility where they'll be able to do their testing, or will that just be any use?
Yep, all of that is laid out in the,
Okay.
there's a testing room, there's some small storage, there's chemical rooms. Everything's been laid out through. And that's why there's offices there, that those have to be done on site.
So we're using the term office loosely then?
Yeah, I mean, there is an office
Like a
for
lab and
one of
an
the
office or
utility guys,
whatever,
there's
yeah,
a,
with water and all that fun
Yep.
stuff in there, okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, does council have any other questions for our engineer?
I just want to say really quick, I've taken care of with other volunteers, Sorbo Park, and maintaining it through the years. It's been at least 10 years, I guess. I still am very concerned. I'm not a big fan of these filtration ponds, but I would like to see that thing moved further away from the playground. It is used quite a bit by young boys especially. We have a lot of those in the neighborhood for whatever reason. I don't really believe personally that these things do a lot of good. I don't really fully understand why we can't put that thing somewhere else, or why we even have to have it. But at the end of the day, I know we're required to, so it just seems like we could find a better location than right there next to the playground. Because I think you're gonna have a lot of parents that are gonna object to that once it gets in, but.
So what did you think about his comment that it doesn't fill up a lot?
Well, I mean, knowing the topography over there, that's a berm going up, and then we're gonna create a hole to keep it from going where? It's not gonna run down that hill, other than what's on the hill. Everything else will go back towards the new building.
So the retention pond is just if we get a lot of rain.
Right.
It'll fill up for
It's
a
a big
day,
hole that, I mean.
and then it kind of
collects
drains out.
weeds.
You'll kind of like the one over by Surfside.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, there's little rocks or whatever in there.
Which is a
but
nightmare to maintain. because
It looks nice when it's really trimmed down
Yeah,
low.
when,
The nice
when
thing
Ryan
is-
and them mow it over.
The nice thing with this one, though, is none of us are going to see it. Unless you're going up there and
Well, we have a lot of
visiting the
people that
public
use
works.
that
guy.
park that will see it, so.
I mean, you're gonna have to look up and
They're kids, yeah.
get at it.
They're still citizens,
Nobody's gonna be driving up that road.
technically.
I think the kids will find it as new fun to add.
I agree, and that's a concern, but I don't know. It
I
just
mean,
seems like we
they
can
already,
do it.
planning commission put a fence requirement in this. So if we just, keep that, I don't know, I mean, I have
I'm
kids.
just voicing my opinion. I just
Yeah.
think it's an unnecessary thing that we're required to do, and I get it, but it doesn't, it's just ugly and it's in a bad spot, but not much
Yeah.
I can do about it at this point.
Excuse me, do you take?
No, it's public comments done, sorry.
Okay. It was on this topic.
Okay. So any other comments?
And I would like to see more trees put in, but I think we're now up to 28. We removed quite a few trees.
Well, like you, I would like to see as many trees as possible
I mean, even
replaced
if they're
and
small,
added.
yeah, even if they're small saplings or whatever, you
Yeah.
know, 4-foot tall hardwoods, would be
And-
nice.
Just to respond to that, at this point, right, we haven't bid this project out,
Right.
we're just talking about land use approval, so that's the type of thing that when it comes time to, if we're picking a contractor and we're really building this thing, then that's the type of thing we would add on there, and I think you'll have plenty of opportunity, hopefully, to do that.
And that's probably been the biggest comment I've gotten from neighbors in the area, because I do live in the area as well, is, oh my gosh, did you see all the trees they cut down? So if we can find budget to allow us to replant hardwoods that may not be their, full potential for 20 to 30 years, that's fine. I mean, they're low cost at that point. And I'm sure we can probably get some help from Three Rivers. I know they have some sort of source that they get their trees and stuff from.
They have a
so,
nursery.
yeah.
DNR too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that would be nice that we could be able to say, yes, we planted, 40 new hardwoods up there, and eventually it will grow back. And if we can do something along this road, that would be nice as well, because I know the neighbor put a fence in, but the same thing with, are we gonna have to put a fence up between the playground and the road?
Good. I mean, it's not like a busy road.
I understand
It's
it's not
gonna
a
be
busy road,
used
but,
a couple, time or two a day.
but once again, we have young
It's like a
children
driveway.
playing over there, so.
Well, then, hopefully Public Works don't hit them. It's not, I don't know.
I kind of agree that it sounds like there won't be a whole lot of activity in that area. Maybe you driving up, one or two people. So
okay.
to me, it doesn't seem like there'll be increased, traffic
Right.
on that road, other than, and they probably drive down that road all the time as it is. For Sorbo Park and
Well, they-
other things.
Yeah. All right, that's all I've got.
Okay, you have any comments?
Well, I guess I would also agree that I'm concerned about safety for the kids around the ponding. But we all know that kids like to play in those woods. We know the behavior. It's like some of our parks are known for certain things, and kids go to those parks for those things. So maybe we have to think ahead of it, and how can we redirect kids who need to do the forts in the wood to another park? You know, like there's one on the island, that's just, you know, woods and land. I can't remember the name of it. It's right off of Tuxedo. You know, maybe we just need to redirect the kids around their play activities. Because kids come from all over the city to different parks for certain things that they're known for. So we just have to figure out how to give them another option.
So again, I grew up, or I've been there, 9 years? And my kids are, I think even last year they were over there playing in the woods, but I don't know, I'm not terribly worried about the retention pond, because I think if you know, if your numbers are right with the amount of water that's ever gonna be in there, I mean, yeah, my kids might go in there and screw around or throw a ball in there, I don't know, but if we put up a fence, I mean, you know, to detract, I think that'd be a good idea, but again, maybe I'm a bad example, but you know, my kids just go out the front door and go over there, but I'm not gonna drive them to the island to go
Right.
in the
It
woods
is a
somewhere over
neighborhood
there.
park. I
What?
mean, it's definitely a neighborhood park.
It's yeah, I mean,
We
that's,
have enough small children in that area
Right.
to
Well,
sustain
and
it.
it's easy access too, because it's so big, you know, Bartlett there through the school property.
all right, so we're, this, we got a motion, right?
Yeah.
A resolution
Yep,
somewhere.
on the screen, 2628.
2628. And again, this is just for the conditional use permit. We can detail all the details later. And the conditions are the fence and, what was the other thing?
The fence, making sure the lighting tries to be as, you know, as little as possible for security, dealing with at least exploring the idea of the noise part of it, and then the landscaping, trying to find more landscaping to address the concerns that we heard.
Okay.
So,
And
and
again-
that you will, you know, this is the site plan, you'll have a chance as you're working through the actual project to see how it evolves.
Yeah.
It's a little different than a private project. This is your project, so
Right.
it'll have to come back to you at some point.
But again, if we decide to make the building a little smaller, a little bigger, driveway, you know,
This
that's,
is, yeah, this is about the use. Is it
Yeah.
okay to put a water treatment facility with a utility building
Right.
in this location?
then yes, and if it has a retention pond, it has to have a fence, you know, blocking off,
Yep.
and then some trees and a little light. Okay. Everybody good? Does anybody want to make a motion?
I can make a motion to approve the resolution, a conditional use permit for water treatment plant in the R1 district for property with PID 23-117-24, 31-007, planning case 2601, PID number 23-117-24, 31-0077. And then do I read all these?
Nope, just that part. And then, Mr. Mayor, I will add to that's resolution 26-28.
Okay. All right.
Asking for approval.
Okay, so we got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, got a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, that passes. All right, number 8, we don't have any old business. Number 9, we have new business. A, approve resolution 26-29, approve cost participation in the West Edge Boulevard Mill and Overlay Project led by the city of Manchester.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Matt Bauman, city engineer. A couple of years ago, Minnetrista reached out and alerted us that they were looking at doing a mill and overlay of West Edge, which is, this portion of it, the city of Mound and Minnetrista shares, from Cassav 15 down about 1,000, a little over 1,000 feet to the south, where it starts to bend out, and then eventually you cross the trail there. And so with them owning that half of the road and then more of it, it made sense for them to lead this project, so we put it within the capital improvement plan for this year, and they bid it on February 11th, and they got 6 bids. The low bidder was Mueller and Sons, and then they provided their cost share portion of it, which is $57,851 $1,052.85, and that's a little lower than the 67,500 that we had planned for. And so just here tonight to approve the cost share and let them know they can move forward with the project, that portion of it. And there is a map somewhere in here too, kind of showed where it was.
Oh, sorry, I went right past it.
So with that, I'll stand for any questions, otherwise.
Yeah, does the council have any questions?
I do.
Yeah.
We just resurfaced West Edge with the, whatever the gravel, resurfacing, whatever it's called.
For the county project?
Overlay, excuse me, overlay, yes, which was done probably maybe 2 years ago, if it's been that long.
Yeah, so on the south part of there,
So why didn't we have them do that at the same time?
we did a seal coat, so that's just the very top, very thin layer, like 1/4 inch thick of the rock, and
Yep,
that's what makes it
right.
gray.
Okay.
That's a seal coat, so it's a different process.
Okay, all
What they're
right.
gonna do up in the red box area and some coming around the corner, that's a mill and overlay, so they're gonna take off, 1.5 inches, 2 inches of the existing asphalt, fix a couple things there, and then they'll repave it, similar to what they did on the county road here last summer, and what we'll be talking about in the next item on the agenda. So West Edge is confusing because of where it is and crossing boundaries and those
It's right
different
past
pieces.
the Dakota Trail,
What's that?
right past, north of the Dakota Trail.
Yes,
Yeah.
yep.
North of the Dakota Trail?
Yeah.
Is that what that, okay.
North of it. So it's not by your house, it's around the corner.
No, I know it's further down, because that's their
It's
property.
once you're going back up north to, whatever that county road is over there.
Linwood.
Yeah,
Linwood,
Linwood.
15,
Yeah.
yep.
And explain again why we're paying for that, because that is definitely on their side. Why
So-
do we have a cost
so
share on
once you
that?
once you come around the corner and then the
Yep.
road straightens back up and it's going north and south,
Yep.
half of it is in the city of Minnetrista and the other half is in the city of Mound.
So the upper
so-
part, yeah, okay,
So
so
the
it must be the upper
right
part.
side
All
or the
right.
east side of
Okay.
the road is owned by Mound.
All right.
Do we know when they're gonna do this?
Ryan and I talked a little bit, they don't want to start until after school ends, so we have some coordination to do with them with all of the other projects going on, but
Yeah.
not exactly yet.
I just wanna make sure they don't do it at the same time we're shutting down any other roads.
Yeah,
Why not? That will help with the traffic flow, because you know it's all going to divert down West Edge.
Well, that's my point. That's my point. You have to go down the west edge, so. I mean, nobody's gonna go all the way out and all the way back over.
Yeah, all the way down to.
So I just wanna make sure
That's why I'd like them to do it.
that this either gets done quick or they wait till the other ones get done.
yeah, since it's a mill and overlay, it can handle traffic while they're doing the work there, but, and it usually will go pretty quick. There's not a lot of, they're gonna have to flag it a little bit while they're in the area, but it's not a lot of disruption in reality.
Okay, so they don't like shut down the road for a day or two? Or like half of it?
I think we get one,
It'll be
yeah, we'll be
flaggers or
flagged
something.
for a little bit. I think, were you gonna do a hydrant over there? That might-
half the road.
Yeah, so, yeah, traffic will be able to get through there, just be slowed down once in a while.
How long is it like start to finish? A week, 2 weeks?
The milling portion of it will probably be happen within a day, and then whenever they get, typically there's some casting adjustments and some stuff like that, and then the paving will happen within a day too, so it's really just two big days of activity, and then there might, I don't know exactly how their contract is structured, so it might be a day of activity, they're gone for a little while, and then they come back.
Okay.
And orange cones on the castings and the valves and stuff sticking up.
Right. All right, does council have any other questions? All right, we got a resolution. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2629, approving cost share of West Edge Boulevard Mill and overlay with City of Minnetrista, Mound City Project PW 26-13.
All right, got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second?
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you. Then up next, we got B, approve resolution 2630, receive plans and authorize bidding for the 2026 street reconstruction project.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Matt Bauman, city engineer. So before you tonight is, as you mentioned, authorization to go for bid for the 2026 street and utility project. This project is kind of all over the city, so north, west, south, all the way out in Island Park. There's a road, Kildare Road out there. And it includes a couple different aspects of street reconstruction, typically where we're doing water main replacement and then mill and overlay on some other streets. You can see in here the different colors. So blue stands for the mill and overlay, and then the yellow is for the reconstructed streets. So yeah, so up in 3 Points, Dutch Lake area, down in the Highlands, that Kildare Road over at an Island Park, and then a couple Old Shoreline and Marion Lane in downtown Mound. So with our engineer's estimate, we're at $3,125,000, and that's about around 80,000 less than our feasibility study estimate, and that's all accounted for in the capital improvement plan and long-term financial management plan. And so with that, I'll stand for any questions. Otherwise, we're looking for authorization to bid, and we'll be back in May with the bid amounts and looking for awards.
All right.
Well, these projects are all part of what we just approved from the capital
Yeah, these
fund.
are,
So these have already been laid out and planned
Yes.
out
Yep.
for some time.
Yeah, we're just at the next stage, making sure we're staying transparent and
Yeah.
ready to move to the next steps.
all right. Council have any other questions? All right, can I get a motion for the resolution?
Motion to approve resolution number 2630, receiving plans and specifications and ordering advertisement for bids for the 2026 street and utility improvements project, city project number PW 26-01 and PW-2602.
All right, got a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
All right, got a second, any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that passes. All right, next we got C, approve resolution 2631 awarding Evergreen Water Tower Painting Project to Tansco Inc., PW 2610. We got Mr. Preach.
Mayor, excuse me, Mayor, member of the council, I am here for, make a recommendation for a motion to approve the award of project, PW 2610 Evergreen Water Tower Painting Project to Tanksco. On Tuesday, March 31st at 10 a.m., KLM put up on Quest CDN online and on public via websites the bid process for the Evergreen Water Tower recoating project. It is going to consist of cleaning, repairing, and painting the 300,000 gallon tower. Engineer estimate was $650,000. And Tanksco came in at low bid at $435,250, which is $214,750 below the engineer's estimate. Tanksco did provide documentation and met or exceeded all the qualifications and requirements for the project. And Jesse? Pull up some pictures.
You want to see this one, right?
This is the current design for the project, and I guess if you guys have any questions about that, and then I also have some pictures of past work that Tanksco has completed.
Okay, does council have any questions for Ryan?
Is KLM comfortable working with Tanksco? Have they done a lot of projects?
Yeah, that was the first question I had with them, and as you can see, some of the
Come on, we gotta do.
some of the jobs they've done in the past, this is all Tanksco's past work.
Okay.
And they said that they're very confident that
Well, that's pretty
it's
simple.
very similar,
Yeah.
and that's what it looked like before.
Yeah.
Well,
And then are we going to get another opportunity to approve a design, or has that happened?
That has happened, yeah.
Is,
The-
so we didn't
Yeah.
approve of any waves or anything?
oh yeah, you missed that meeting.
Yeah.
This is what we all came up with.
Yeah, I mean, I like this, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah, we
think
got
it
rid
would
of the
still
waves.
be, you don't like the waves?
Well, I think the overall feeling was just keep it clean, Just
And
city
then,
Mound.
are you imagining this logo on 4?
Three sides
Three
because
sides.
of the
Three sides,
ladder on
okay.
the other side.
Okay, perfect.
And then hopefully you can copy and paste this in next year for the other one.
If that's what you guys want to do, that's what we'll do.
Well, it'd be nice to have them
Yeah,
look the same.
I mean, we'll have a meeting and,
Yeah.
yeah, we can go over that.
Later
There
this
might
year.
be small different details because it's a different shape, but
Well, we're saving 200 grand. Can't they just do 1.5?
I wish we could get to it sooner and do it
I
all
know.
at once. but
That's the
I mean,
bad
it's
one,
just
too.
every time you drive into Shirley Hills, all you see is that tote monster looking like it's very disheveled. But can I just ask, why did everybody decide against the waves? It was too busy, or,
Graphically, I don't think
just-
it landed in the right, it looked,
oh, because it was smashed
the
in the
railings were
railings?
I
playing with
think
it.
it would have
just-
looked better on this one.
Yeah.
This one has the
That walkway.
ramp
Yeah,
and the railing, and there's just, it was kind of busy.
yeah,
And I tried to move the waves up, which made the emblem smaller, but it looked bad when the waves were lower, so it
yeah,
just.
I did that
didn't-
all on my computer
Yeah.
too, going, something looked a little strange.
And this way we can make the emblem a little bit bigger too, so.
As long as you can read.
I'm comfortable with
City
this,
amount.
I just didn't know it was approved
Yeah,
that
I
night
can't
because
read it.
I was told we were just discussing it and there'd be further, so I'm just getting caught up, is all I'm
Yeah.
asking for. I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, I think,
You would have agreed if you had seen it graphically. It
Yeah,
just-
Well,
we
I
just-
did see it.
Yeah.
we just couldn't get it.
I sent it to her.
Quite
Yeah.
right.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's why I monkeyed cut it too. Okay, so any other, do you want me to?
Yeah, if you want to do a motion.
Okay, motion to approve Resolution 26-31, accepting bid for Evergreen Water Tower, well number 8, city project, PW 26-10.
All right, got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Oh, who said it? I don't know who said it first. We'll give
Oh, it
Michelle that
doesn't
one.
matter.
Jinx.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, that passes. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 10, we got announcements. Councilmember Pugh?
Well, let's see, Gillespie Center is having a series of activities in the next 2 weeks. They're trying to raise money, and they've hired a new director. His name is Brian, and he's on staff now, but I think part-timers are onboarding him. But he'll be full-time by the end of the month. So that's that. And the Planning Commission, per the request of, the Parks Commission, per the request of the board, did go to look at Surfside, the depot. And the condition is actually, it's pretty good. There are some utility upgrades that staff is already working on because we have items that aren't up to code right now, so they're having to replace the stove, some of those kitchen utility spaces. In terms of the bathroom on the lower level, everyone said, there's a pipe there, but there's really not a lot of fixings for creating a bathroom in that lower level, which was a question. But that would be up to this board to make a decision if you wanted to explore getting a bid on the cost of that. But we did look at it. So, we thought it all looked good. There were some suggestions about other uses for the depot and other locations and, but nothing really specific at this point. And you'll see it in the minutes and probably in the next meeting. And I think that's it. Oh, the new fire chief. But you want to do that?
No, go ahead.
Well, we have a new fire chief who is, now I'm forgetting.
Andy. Drill.
Andy Drill, yeah, is the new fire chief. So, I want to congratulate the staff. They really did a great job. The timing and the process and the swiftness in which they did all that. I was really impressed with the staff. And I think that we're all probably pretty impressed that Andy was selected. He was sort of a natural for it, so, yeah, I think that's it.
All right,
Yeah.
Councilmember
I don't have anything. I was out of town and didn't make it back in time for the planning meeting, one of very few I've ever missed. So I have nothing to report from that night.
Okay.
You know, it's been a nice long break for all of us to kind of come up for air and
Yeah.
get going for the summer, so that's all I've got.
Let's see, I didn't go to the police thing, I'll let you give that update. I do have a question though, and Ryan can probably address this, but if we're gonna be painting the tower on Sorbo Park, it's already a mess over there, now we've got 2 temporary cell towers put up, the baseball area is disrupted, the playground itself has got, I guess that's temporary fencing around it. I mean, do we want to shut that park down for a certain period of time while we got all this stuff going on, or?
We
is
already
that-
addressed that once in the council
you?
meeting, and
Okay.
the communication we will be putting out when it gets more intense
Okay.
is pretty much just the playground and the basketball
Yeah.
court are gonna be usable, probably for, well, if we move forward with the treatment plant, probably for 2 years.
Oh, really?
We've already, when we did the presentation for Phase 2 water treatment project that's starting, we already said that green space is gonna be used as a storage area. So it pretty much eliminates this whole summer.
Okay,
And if we move forward with more construction, we already are gonna be drilling a new well up in the woods, so that's more storage that we're gonna have in that area. And if we build, it's just pretty much shutting down that park for
as long as it's
minimum
been
of 2 years,
discussed.
2 summers.
And I mean,
So
So
it
you've
will be
discussed that with
rehabbed
all the
after the
residents?
fact, but
I don't think it's been drawn to anyone's attention yet, but I mean, I'm just glad that the Public Works is on it, because that's gonna become a mess
Yeah.
up there.
so we talked about it when we talked about the infrastructure project in a meeting here. We'll put out some communication about it for long-term, and then currently, we just put up some snow fence around the playground, and I tried putting green up, so we don't have bright orange fence up there for a long time. But trying to deter people away from that, and it'll be more obvious when they start staging and storing equipment there. So,
Can you utilize any of that school property for staging, or
no,
is that, you can't do?
no,
No.
yeah.
I know, Bruce Miller Nature Preserve.
But anyway, yeah, that was just a question I had, because I think moving forward, we need to make sure, obviously, we'll need to put out a public communication. I mean, it's not that far from the Surfside, and we've got that big playground there. I don't see any reason why we can't redirect traffic.
And Highland.
And Highland, yeah. Both of those can accommodate what's currently there. I think it's better to provide a first-class experience than a half park and dangerous situations that could arise just because we're having children involved.
Could you make some little sign and just say, nearest park, 2 nearest parks, this way, that way?
Oh, yeah?
Put a disclosure, maybe. Be careful crossing the street, but, if you're going to Highland. But,
Yeah,
Um,
that's the fun.
playgrounds open at Surfside or
Yeah.
something like that. Or say, feel free to use this playground, the basketball hoop, the rest of it's, the ballpark is off.
We can put something together.
Something like that.
We have some signboards, and we can
Yeah,
even put up some QR codes that can link all the parks,
okay,
Right,
so.
cool.
there you go.
Well, Highland they don't have a basketball court like Sorbo does, but they do have a huge area for soccer and, there used to be a baseball
Yeah.
diamond there, but they still have the back fence that,
Yeah, the nearest
For that
baseball
kind of thing
diamond's
up
gonna
there.
be probably Dutch Lake for them.
yeah.
I think we have a brand-new sign machine, right? So this will be a great way to test it out.
So, let's go back up. For clarification, do you guys want the park closed for this time and fenced off? Do we want to keep the U that we have around the playground and the basketball court and just kind of try to
Keep the U.
maintain people to that
I
area?
would keep it open as long as you can.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it's gonna get really bad until they start painting and staging, right? Or what, different times? I
They're
mean,
not,
painting's gonna
it's,
cause a little bit
it's
of.
gonna be equipment
Yeah.
and like
Okay.
material stage off in the green space. So they'll see some traffic during the day, but we don't see park traffic too much during the day, other than maybe a stroller or two taking a walk.
Okay.
It's more in the evening, I think, is when you see a lot more traffic in the park.
In the summer.
And by that time, you know, they shouldn't be working that late. Some, they'll probably push it to 5 or 6 some nights, but it primarily won't be on that site. It would be down the road on the project.
I just know when I
So-
walked through there the other night, there's big rivets where the equipment went
Yep.
through. So I mean, that whole area is gonna be off limits, I
Yep.
think, right?
It's
I
gonna
mean,
be basically, the usable space will be the basketball court and the playground
Right.
only.
And that'll be through the whole project, or you're gonna have to shut it down at one point for a little bit?
It will be through pretty much the whole project. We're gonna have the water tower taking up a good portion. We're gonna have a staging area in the green space. You're gonna have traffic, I mean, not consistent traffic, but they need to go up to, the upper lot, I'll call it. So really, it's just this summer, next summer, it will be just that basketball court and that playground area.
So if you brown fence that off, and then right in the, inside of the fence, with our nice sign, just say,
Yep.
you know, basketball and playground is open, and then say closest other playground is Surfside, Park or something, you know?
Yep.
Right down there, or something like that, so, if you, I mean, you can still use that playground,
Yep.
but, or, and then maybe say closest other ballpark is whatever. And then, so that at least people have 2 other options, in case they're not
We
happy.
can
with-
actually put a QR code, it'll list all their parks and all the amenities that are at each one of them.
Yeah, I mean, that would, I think, look good, that we're thinking ahead on that.
Well, it's proactive to
Right.
it, so people know that we aren't trying to keep them away from fun,
Yeah,
you know, because it will impact a lot of kids.
Yep,
All right,
okay.
that's all I got.
thank you.
That's all you got, you said?
Yes, that's all I have
Okay.
now.
All right, so I'm doing, the police interview. You already had your shot at it.
Mhm.
But anyway, I guess it's down to 2. And then, so that's Thursday, we're gonna do that, so, we'll see what happens there.
You're able to participate in the hiring of the police chief?
So because we're on the police commission, and plus because Mound pays half of
Yeah, yeah.
the bill, we get a say.
Oh, that's
That
good.
doesn't mean, I mean, even if I say, well, this person, then they might end up going with the other person, but
Yeah.
I'll make it known
Yeah.
if I feel strongly, you know, about one person or not. We did the same thing with the fire chief. The fire commission had, you know, somewhat of a say. I don't think they did the interview process, but at least you gave them, got feedback.
Right, yeah, it's similar.
Yeah. So, anyway, there was one city manager and then one person from the council, and I just took it, sorry. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. Next Thursday at 6 o'clock,
6 o'clock.
we're gonna have kind of an open house for City Mound. Come on out if you're hearing this or seeing it. It's gonna be in the fire bay there. We're gonna have light apps or treats, I guess, and dessert, or drinks or something. And we're gonna give you kind of a brief update on the city, and then kind of an introduction to all the different departments, and there will be a lot of people to talk to if you're interested in learning more about the city. So, gonna do that. Let's see, I don't think I have much more than that. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so.
So what? I forgot the,
Yeah.
Do you want to say something more?
yeah.
Okay. go ahead.
Okay, I've done some preliminary looking at if we would want to do a city national night out, you know, where neighbors who don't have their neighborhood one could come. And I called St. Bonnie to find out how they did theirs, because they do a citywide one. Their night out was always sponsored by the Lions. And during COVID, it got canceled for a couple of years. And 2 years ago, the city did it, but now it's going back to the Lions. So that's a different model than maybe what we were talking about. Although we could approach the Lions or one of the nonprofits to do it. What they do in St. Bonnie is they get the businesses to donate prizes that they give out as door prizes. And the way they do door prizes, they hand out tickets as people come in, and then they just pull from those tickets. But most of the gifts are for kids. And they do a bouncing house, and for food, they've done hot dogs. So, one, we'd have to kind of look at comparisons. If we were going to sponsor it, what kind of budget we would have, and if we have money in our budget that can be allocated for such, or to work with some of the nonprofits maybe. Like I thought about having Miss Gillespie do their, what is it, corn bag challenge thing that they do, and maybe we can, be sponsors, and we'd work with them as a city, to be sponsors, but they'd be kind of the lead people on it, and we'd get businesses to contribute $50 to $100 each, and we could set up, the businesses could have tables where the farmer's market is, so people could kind of get to know the owners of the businesses, so, I mean, it's an opportunity for us to do that piece. We wouldn't have to do real large-scale stuff, but it's really how we're going to cost it out and how we sponsor it would be the thing to do.
I think that we should talk to WCC and also the Lions, Austin and the Lions. I don't feel like we're in a position to start funding events, and I just, most cities, like you said, the Lions or Chamber of Commerce, they're usually who take on these kinds of events. And I think that we should start that route. And we offer our fabulous, Lost Lake Commons, but then they would take care of the planning and take care of getting the permits and all that kind of stuff. That's just what I would encourage until we amp up staff and, have more money in our budget in parks to take on things like this. But it's a great event, and I can't imagine the Lions or somebody wouldn't be totally interested in partnering with somebody else to take that on. I like the idea.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
I agree with everything. We can, hopefully they'll go for it, and if not, we could even just, like this event that we just are gonna do next week. Really just, we'll be there. The council will be down at there, and then we'll have police and fire. We can have maybe one or two come out.
Yeah.
So like if they don't have like a neighborhood party, they can come down there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are gonna have their parties, but if you don't have one, come down there. We're not gonna give you any food, we're not gonna,
No,
we're just hanging out. It's
Right,
just,
we
bring your
could
own stuff.
invite food trucks
Yeah.
to come and do food, and people could buy their own food.
We're just opening the park.
So, we're
Yeah.
pretty much opening the park
Yeah.
to an opportunity. But I would agree, it'd be nice if we could get some of the local nonprofits to kind of spearhead it. Because I think it can be done in a way that it doesn't become an expense to any of those groups either, because they're all trying to raise money to sustain their organizations
Well,
as
they can
well.
charge money too, unlike
Right.
us.
Well, except for a national night out, it's not really one you charge for.
But, if they could raise funds for
Yeah.
doing a bunch of hot dogs on a grill or what
Yeah.
have you, they have means to do that.
Yeah.
So, another reason for them to spearhead it.
Yeah. Do you wanna bring it up at the next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Next council meeting is Tuesday, April 28th at 6 o'clock. And I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a
Motion
motion.
to adjourn.
All right, got a motion? Can I get a second?
Second.
2 motions, 2 seconds. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, we're adjourned.